Hi everyone, this is Tim Taylor. In this video, I want to share with you probably my favorite buying strategy. And the reason it's my favorite buying strategy is because I don't have a lot of competition with other investors in this niche market. This is a buying strategy called buying on a straight option. It's dealing with houses that are in good condition. They're the middle to upper class homes in your area. They don't need any repair. They're in nice locations, and as I mentioned, you don't have a lot of other investors typically even looking at these properties. And here's what an option is on a property. It's when you're negotiating with the homeowner selling the property, you agree upon a price, and then you agree upon a date in which you will get them that purchase price. And then during that time frame, and it's usually somewhere between 60 and 90 days is the time frame I like to get, I'll have it under option, and during that time frame, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be marketing the property for sale, to find a buyer to buy the home from me. And then when I find a buyer and they buy the home from me, that's when I will buy the house from my seller at the same time that I'm selling it. So I'm actually not using any of my own money to fund my purchase. So I thought probably the easiest way to go about this is just actually show you a deal that I just did with using this very strategy with no money and no credit, just a little bit of education. Here's what it is. I had an ad running every single day in the newspaper basically saying that I buy houses. And this nice woman named Kathy called me. And she said that she had this home that was worth $260,000. So let me just lay it out for you here. The value of the home was $260,000. Her asking price was $188,000. Coincidentally, this was the amount that she owed on the property. This would just break her even. Now, this was a newer home. This home was built in the year 2004. They bought it as a spec home. And the reason that they're willing to give away $72,000 worth of equity is because they have a situation that just came up in their life in which they need to sell this house fast. And the situation was her husband's in the military. And they just got notified the day before they called me that they were being transferred out of the country. And they needed to be moving in 60 days. And they needed to move and have this house sold and out of their life with this loan paid off within that 60 days. And she was willing to walk away from $72,000 worth of equity to get peace of mind, to know that this house was out of their life when they moved. So immediately when I saw this, what I did is I went over to the house. I set the appointment actually within an hour. I was at her home in an hour from when she called me. I walked through the home. The home was gorgeous. It was immaculately kept. Landscaping was great. I comped the area to verify that it truly was a $260,000 neighborhood, and it was. So then I sat down at the living room table with Kathy and her husband. And I said, Kathy, here's how we're going to make this deal work. I am not going to write you a check and pay you cash for this house. I'm going to use my option to purchase program. And here's what that is. If you and I agree on this $188,000 price, we're going to write up an agreement today, an option agreement. I'm going to give you $100. And I will pay you the balance of the $188,000 within your 60-day time frame. And during that 60 days, what I'm going to use is my 10-day selling system in which I find a buyer and get houses sold within 10 days of when I start my marketing. If we can agree upon that concept, I'll go ahead and enter into this agreement with you. And Kathy agreed. I gave her a $100 bill and we signed the option agreement. I then put my second plan into attack, which is one of my favorite selling strategies. And this strategy works whether you're in an up real estate market or a down real estate market. It's called my 10-day selling strategy. It's where I market a property for 10 consecutive days, starting on a Friday. I run the marketing through that entire week, and then the following weekend on a Saturday and Sunday from noon to 5, I run an open house. And during that open house, I typically get between 50 and 100 prospective buyers coming through the open house. And the reason I get so many buyers to come through, even in a down market like we're in right now, is because all of my marketing, I advertise the property at a very low price. As a matter of fact, on this particular property, I advertised it at $159,500 as a starting bid. Now, this wasn't what I expected to sell the house for. And I told Kathy this when I was sitting with her. I said, Kathy, I need to make you aware that my marketing strategy works because I advertise the property so low. You're going to see your entire community blanketed with yard signs. I'm going to have an ad in the paper selling this house. And I'm going to sell the house to the best and highest bidder Sunday evening. But my marketing is going to be saying that I'm starting the bid at $59,500. That's what creates the feeding frenzy. Once I have the feeding frenzy from 50 to 100 people there bidding on the house, they then bid the house up in value. And that's what I had to explain to Kathy. I said, Kathy, I know that this house is going to sell for something more than the $188,000. So don't be alarmed when you see all the marketing at $159,500. That's just my marketing strategy to get people to show up. I said, now Kathy, I need to ask you something else. Are you going to be upset with me if I make a big profit on this house? If this value goes way up on my bidding process? Because I intend to make a big profit and I need to know that you're okay with that. And she said, as long as you can sell it and get me out of this within 60 days before we have to leave and I get my $188,000, I don't care how much profit you make. And I said, okay, fine. So we entered into the agreement. I did my 10-day sale process. I literally had 105 people come to my open house on Saturday and Sunday. From that open house, I had 11 people bid on the property. I did a round robin bidding with those 11 people, and people would bid each other up and certain people would drop out, and I kept the bidding going till I got down to 2 or 3, and then finally the high bid was $220,000. That was my sales price. $220,000. So I want you to picture this. In my left hand here, I have an option agreement that I tied up the property for $100 for 60 days with Kathy. And now I just sold the property and signed a sales and purchase agreement with my buyer for $220,000. I then went down to my title company and I explained the situation. I said, here's where I'm buying the property for $188,000. Here's where I'm selling the property for $220,000. Do all your closing through escrow, and when you're ready, have my buyer bring in their $220,000. And when that's sitting in your escrow account, I will bring in my $188,000. Now let me tell you about the $188,000. It's not my money. There are companies out there called transactional funding companies that will actually lend you the money, regardless of your credit, as long as you're doing a double closing and they get paid back immediately within 5 seconds. As soon as this person's $220,000 is in the escrow account, the transactional funding company lent me $188,000. And they immediately got paid back when my seller paid off the $188,000 that went to Kathy. My profit on this deal was $32,000. And all it cost me was $100 out of my pocket and a little bit of education. I hope you understood how this buying strategy works, because it's one of the most powerful tools out there that no one's using. And if you'd like more information about these type of creative buying strategies, how you can buy and sell properties with only $100, please go to my website at timtaylorsuccesscoach.com. What I want you to do is I want you to fill out a free consultation. I'll call you back personally and we'll spend 30 minutes together to see if we're a good fit. I have an upcoming live program where I work with 12 people. I'd love for you to be one of those 12 people. Please go to my website immediately. I look forward to working with you someday. Thank you.